My name is Ryan. I'm 29 years old, and my family story is one most people would think belongs in a movie. But trust me, it was real. You see, my dad was obsessed with cars, not just ordinary cars. I'm talking rare classics, vintage Ferraris, Bugattis, Lamborghinis from limited runs, vehicles worth millions. He built a collection worth over $500 million, and it was his pride and joy. Growing up, I spent hours in the garage with him, learning everything about engines, history, craftsmanship. He used to tell me, "Ryan, these cars aren't just machines. They're a legacy, and one day you'll take care of them." But life isn't that simple. When Dad passed away suddenly from a stroke, I expected to inherit the collection. After all, I was his only son, and we had shared this passion all my life. But that's when my Aunt Linda, Dad's sister, swooped in like a vulture. Linda had always been jealous of my dad. He built the empire, while she lived a mediocre life bouncing from one failed business to another. She saw his collection not as his passion, but as a ticket to wealth and status. The day of the will reading, Linda walked in wearing a flashy designer dress and oversized sunglasses. She acted like the grieving widow, even though she wasn't his wife. She sat beside me holding my arm as if we were close. But I knew the truth. She was here for one thing, the cars. When the lawyer began reading, my heart sank. According to the documents, Linda was named as the caretaker of the collection. She gasped dramatically, putting a hand to her chest like she had just won the lottery. I was stunned. "Caretaker? What does that even mean?" Linda smirked at me and whispered, "It means they're mine now, sweetheart." For weeks, she paraded around like the queen of the garage. She invited friends, investors, and even journalists to show off her collection. She even tried to auction off 2 of the cars. But here's the thing. She didn't know the truth. Because Dad and I had a bond she could never understand. And Dad had left me something far more powerful than a line in a will. One evening, I went into the garage alone. I looked at Dad's favorite car, his 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO, the rarest gem of the collection. I remembered what he always said, "The real treasure is where passion lives, not where paper points." I searched the glove box. Inside, wrapped in an old leather cloth, was a small envelope. Inside that envelope was a letter from Dad and a set of keys. The letter read, "Ryan, if you're reading this, then Linda has tried to take what isn't hers. But these cars were never about money. They were about us. Look under the foundation of the garage's east wing. There you'll find the true legacy." My heart pounded as I grabbed tools and pried open a hidden panel in the garage floor. Beneath it was a locked safe. Using the keys, I opened it, and what I found nearly made me cry. Inside were the original ownership titles of every single car in the collection, all signed under my name. Legally mine. Dad had outsmarted everyone. The next week, Linda held a press event in the garage, showing off her cars to investors. She was in the middle of a speech when I walked in, holding the envelope. "Funny thing, Aunt Linda," I said loudly. "You might want to see who really owns these beauties." The crowd turned as I held up the original documents. The lawyer, who was present, checked them carefully. He looked at Linda and shook his head. "These titles are legally binding. The collection belongs to Ryan Lawson." Linda's face turned crimson. She tried to argue, tried to claim Dad had been tricked, but the truth was undeniable. The crowd whispered. Journalists scribbled notes, cameras flashed. In that moment, her empire of lies collapsed. The cars were mine. Linda was disgraced, her reputation ruined. She stormed out, screaming that I'd regret this. But I didn't feel regret. I felt peace. Because my father hadn't just left me cars. He had left me trust. He had left me proof that love can outsmart greed. Today, I still walk through that garage. I keep the collection alive, not as a trophy, but as a memory of the man who taught me passion, patience, and legacy. And every time I hear the roar of an engine, I hear my dad's voice whispering, "These cars aren't just machines, Ryan. They're family.